My name is Mhairi and this is my vlog. And today I'm going to talk to you, this sounds brutal, I'm going to say it anyway, I'm going to talk to you about how to capture souvenirs. The word capture, well, I'm going to go with it anyway. It does make me think of the BFG, amazing book by Roald Dahl, when I think basically Big Friendly Giant goes around capturing dreams. I think that's the thing. And he used the word capture and got away with it, so I'm going to use it too. So, yes, what I'm about to tell you is inspired by Paddington Bear. Wow, I've got loads of literary references. Paddington Bear, in one of his books, goes to the seaside and he takes a jar, or I should have brought an empty jar, and he takes his empty jar and he opens the jar in the seaside and he captures seaside air, and then he closes the jar up and goes back to his life in the city, and anytime he wants to remember the seaside air, he just and there's this great bit in a book where he's really giving a man a cold, hard stare because he's standing next to a man in the seaside and the man is taking great big deep breaths, and Paddington is forced to fix him with a cold, hard stare because he feels that the man is sucking up all the good seaside air, and what's he going to put in the jar? So that is simply the backstory and the inspiration behind what I'm about to explain to you today, ladies and gentlemen. So inspired by Paddington, I have been collecting memories in a jar. It's like a nouveau-garde, avant-garde souvenir situation. So what happens is, when there's a critical moment in my life, a moment of jubilation, obviously, this is important. There's no point having a souvenir with your worst day ever when you're melting in a puddle and you're screaming. You're not going to want to remember that, darling. That is like a stuff of a nightmare, and Tim Burton might do that in an animated film, but that is not for your daily life. This is for your daily life. Basically, every time you're having a big moment, and these are some of my moments from the last year, like doing film festival stuff, mainly Holly, who is actually filming this, has been involved in most of these jar moments, but like when I'm having a big thing, like a screening of my film, of the show, you know, or being in a festival, I will simply take one of these jars, and obviously you can see my love of French Bon Maman jam. I'll take one of these jars and I will open it and capture the air of that moment. And oftentimes I'm with Holster and we'll say a few words of like what this moment means to us. And then I'll seal up the jar, and anytime if we're having a bit of a down moment or a blip in our life, we can know that anytime, and I haven't had to do this yet, you can unscrew and you can smell a bit the smell of success. So that is it in theory, darling. And you can add things to this. Like for example, this is significant. This jar signified on the 16th of February last year was the opening of the new website, which was designed by Katie Nolan, and we did ribbon over her computer and then we cut it. So we made quite a big deal, and this is the ribbon around that jar. And then yesterday, just with my friend Kurt, we did a jar because he lives in New York, so when we see each other, we try and set what we want to have happen before the next time we see each other. And we actually took a picture because he has a Polaroid camera, so that was quite handy. And then we could put a picture on our jar of the memories. So you can go off piste, or you can add things to your jars. And obviously you need to be careful that you're not in a place where there's an earthquake and it all might shatter down. So I wouldn't advise putting your jars over your bed. I have them on a nice little shelf. And so that's it. That's the blog for this week. An idea or two on how to capture a memory. Capture in a good sense, not in a brutal, dictatorial, panicking sense. Anyway, let's start the conversation.